Hey guys, hope you're doing well. It's the spot here, and I'm Mali, your host. Today's episode, we're here with our dearest guest.
Mandana, Shabanajat.
Hey man, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Thank you, I'm very good. Actually, I'm really thrilled having you here. I was waiting for you. I don't know, like every moment I was waiting, like, she's gonna call, she's gonna call.
Oh,
So
really?
finally, yeah,
If I
finally
had
you
known,
called.
I would have called sooner.
Thank you. Come on. How has the journey of learning English started for you? Would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, sure, why not? It wasn't easy for me at first. I remember that I started very early, like when I was at a school, at elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother used to take me to this class on that class. And at the very beginning, even though I was really a very sharp student at school, I was not that into English at the very beginning. And I remember I actually failed many terms, and my
Oh.
mom used to come to the institute begging them to let me retake the tests. And every single time I would promise to study more, and I wouldn't.
Wow.
But to everybody's surprise, something happened in there. Actually, it was not really related to the language itself.
Mm-hmm.
I had this teacher who actually impressed me very much, let's say. And I this let's say, okay, that by this time I was 14 something.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of the teenage years. And this guy who was our teacher was a 21-year-old
Oh.
nice good looking man,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And once I went to his class, I decided that I needed some way to take his attention. And since I
Uh-huh.
was not so attractive at that time,
Oh.
the only way I had to, yeah, I was able to to draw his attention to myself was through studying and studying and studying. And that is how I became the top student that term.
Oh.
Yeah. And from that point on, actually, that was not a really good teacher. He left the
Mm.
institute because the other students were not satisfied with him. But
Mm.
anyways, it really worked to my benefit. And it was a life changing moment for me. And everything changed from that point on. And I started to study much
Mm-hmm.
better. And well, I studied for many years. I became a teacher at the age of 17. And
Yeah.
it has been almost 19 years that I've been teaching. And now I'm a teacher trainer, and I am a supervisor at a French IELTS house. And I teach IELTS to, I prepare the candidates for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
IELTS.
That's so cool. It really is a
Well, I
big
wouldn't
thing.
say that. No, no, I was not a professional teacher at 17. I was a novice, and
Mm.
an amateur. I didn't know, I didn't know anything. And
Yeah.
that didn't change for a very long time, unfortunately. I would say that I was not a very good teacher for a long time.
Really?
And yes, and unfortunately, the systems in which I worked did
Mm-hmm.
not really help me improve myself professionally.
Mm-hmm.
However, later, like many years later, I decided to do something about it. And I started taking part in different courses, including some TTC for those who wanted to teach IELTS, and CELTA. And then I really got into the teaching. I was really, engaged in it, and I really
Mm-hmm.
felt like everything I had been doing up to that point was not I wouldn't say a mistake, but it was not the the best way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have made my life and my students' life much easier if I had learned more about how to teach. And then
Mm-hmm.
I did Delta. I mean, these are you are familiar with these,
Yeah.
Melly. You know that these are the Cambridge courses for the
Mm-hmm.
teachers, and that is when I really learned what I should be doing. And now I actually regret that I didn't do these sooner.
Oh, I can feel you in some ways. Like when I was 17, I also started teaching English because it was like something that I really enjoyed studying myself. So I can I think I can say we started to stand on our own feet maybe so that
Mhm.
we can do something, we can earn money, maybe we can feel more independent at the moments. Maybe
Very true.
yeah, that happened to us then. Maybe we didn't feel like okay, teaching is our final goal there. But
Mhm.
that's right. Like years later, we find out, wow, what a nice field of work it can be, right?
Exactly. I used to really dread the very first day of my classes because I didn't really have a very good
Mm.
first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the times I lost my audience on the very first session. And a lot of times the students went and complained about me on the very first session. And
Oh.
I knew that if I could handle the first session, they would really be interested in my classes. But I was not good at it, and
Hmm.
I wasn't able to capture my audience at that time.
I
Now
see.
I know, but I don't know why at that time nobody actually, none of um, those supervisors who were supposed to help us
Mm.
really actually did any help.
I see. I see. And how do you feel right now about teaching job?
Great, actually, couldn't be better. It is it's a labor of love, and I really enjoy it. I would never change my career.
Yeah,
I think that it is exactly the right path for me.
that's it. You said labor of love. Could you tell us something about it? What does it mean?
Well, yeah. Well, labor of love is supposed to be a kind of job which you do because of the passion that you have for it, and not
Mm-hmm.
because of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not saying that it is not good money. I actually get earn very
Sure.
good money right now, but everybody knows that teaching is not a very well paid job. So, and most people get into it because they want to fulfill themselves mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So that is called a labor of love.
Yeah. And do you think that everyone can do this job well? I mean, by training, maybe?
Well, I don't know really if anybody can do it because, well, first of all, as I said, you have to have the passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not for everybody because well, let me tell you about this. When I was very young, at the age of 17, I started teaching young learners.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I regret it
Mm-hmm.
because not because of what happened to me, but because of what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have a kind of you know you have to have it in you that you want to play games and entertain children and
Mm-hmm.
play with them and that kind of thing. So teaching learners is not an easy job. Teaching young learners
Young
is not an
learners.
easy
Right.
job. So I think that yes, you need to have a specific qualifications and a specific qualities,
Mm.
the features that you need to be really, really patient. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't get annoyed by the mistakes or by the, um, you know, um, the things that they ask you, by their mistakes. You need to be very tolerant.
I see, I see. So, do you think these are some qualifications that you can get, or you have to have it inside of you? I mean,
Well,
how can
qualifications you can
someone?
earn, but qualities are like some
Mm-hmm,
things that uh, yes, you can still develop them,
mm-hmm,
but provided that you want to develop them in you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. You know, because it's like I can see most of the, let's say, young people, they just like us, just like me, we start with this and we think that okay, as long as I know how to talk in English, I can start with it. If I get into that, if I'm interested in that job, so I continue with that. I don't know,
Mhm.
being trained of being a teacher, and that was the questions that some of my students also asked me. That's why I'm asking you as a supervisor. I mean, you definitely are the one that you can tell us about it. So you say that they have to have this quality inside, and if the passion is there, then they can
Learn
develop
how to
that.
do
Yeah,
that.
they.
Yes, I think that it can be
Yeah,
developed in you. Yeah.
that's it. Is there anything, any challenges in your job maybe you want to share with us, or whatever you think you can
Um,
tell us today?
yeah, there are specific challenges that I have got when teaching IELTS.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me tell you, this is a fact that not everybody knows. But IELTS is not only, I'm sorry,
No, that's.
is not only the test of your general English.
Mm-hmm.
It is also designed in a way to test your IQ.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people do not really get why they're not acing it, and even though they're really, hitting books, and
Mm-hmm.
they are, pushing themselves to study whatever material they can get their hands on.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they feel like they are not very, making the progress that they want in, score wise.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason behind it is that to some extent it depends on your ability to find the logic behind the questions, and to decipher the distractors and be able to eliminate them. And
Mm-hmm.
that is not an easy job. So it is not just testing your English, but also your ability to make these judgments. So it is quite difficult.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So is it
I mean,
difficult? Is it difficult for you? I mean, teacher wise, or it's difficult also for the learner? I mean, the.
you wouldn't be able to teach something if you didn't understand it yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
So there are times that I look at the answers and I tell myself, okay, I know this is the answer, but why? you
Mm-hmm.
know. So when you consider the language, I completely master it, and I have no problem understanding what the question is asking me to do, or what
Mm-hmm.
what I should be doing. But I still don't understand the logic behind the choice, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, but why? you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's most important part is for the one who's taking the exam, and
Not
it's.
for them, because well, not everybody needs to get a 9 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people are aiming for 6.5 or
Mm-hmm.
7, so that is not really far-fetched.
Right.
um, for me, however, it is important to be able to explain the things
Uh-huh.
and say why the answer to the questions are like this. But there are times that I have a hard time doing this.
So that's like you have to get the logic behind that questions so that you
Exactly.
can exactly you so that it's gonna be
And with an
repeating.
IQ
Yeah.
of 110, I sometimes fail to do so.
I see, I see. So, uh, it's kind of dynamic. I mean, your job.
Yes,
It's
it
like
is. And
you
I
also
really
are.
appreciate this feature of it because,
Mm-hmm.
um, well, doing what I do, I get to do a lot of different things. Like I teach, I have some tutorials for my own students, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have um, the institute I work
Mm-hmm.
with. So I manage the teachers, I observe their classes, and
Mm-hmm.
give them feedback, and try to help them improve professionally too. Also, I train some of the new teachers who join us,
Mm-hmm.
and we are also working on this line of books that we have recently introduced, and maybe you have heard of them, IELTS Journey,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually is not we haven't written them, but it is a compilation of different sources, and so we are working on editing these books. So
Uh-huh.
yes, it is. It has got a lot of variety in it, and I really like it because I really don't want to be, tied to one thing and just have to do, repetitive activities. So
That's it.
that
That's
is
exactly
really,
what mostly teachers are maybe getting bored of just repeating the things that they already know. Like
yeah.
that would be so exhausting. But on the other hand, we also, I mean, those of us who are looking for some challenges and something that they can work also their own abilities on it, and that is that part that you said. Thank you for the beneficial info. But can I ask something? I was also thinking, you as a teacher trainer are working with people who already are ready for talking, maybe are
Mhm.
taking the exams, or they are in a very maybe good level of English, and
Mhm.
they also may have some teaching experience as well. But have you ever had someone so that you had to tell them you're not good enough for this job?
Oh, so many times.
Tell us about
Yes.
it. That
Yes,
is that
it
that
is
must be
not. It's
difficult,
not
right?
easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know, because rejection is never easy to take, but that is part of my job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I need to make sure certain quality is maintained in the institute.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot really accept any teacher who tries to join us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have got TTCs to prepare them for that purpose, but not everybody passes, and a lot of people actually fail.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, it is not only on me because we
Mm-hmm.
have a board of, um let's say, faculty board
Mm-hmm.
who help me decide about these things. But usually, me or another supervisor uh, sit together and watch a demo. And sometimes, yes, we have to tell the candidates that they have not really met our expectations. So, but the good news is that there's always a second chance, so they can go improve themselves and come back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it feels nice. That's good. Like we
Yeah,
watch
it's
you
that
and we
it is
feel,
really good.
yeah,
It is a very good environment to work in. So a lot of people try to join us,
mm-hmm.
and mm, it is really good that so many people show interest. But we cannot really afford to uh, recruit everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
have to, cherry pick them.
I see. What is that? What you said, cherry pick.
So it means that you choose the best ones.
Uh-huh. That's it. Good. Thank you. Okay, so is there anything that you do? I mean, I know that when you work hard and you reach to the weekend, perhaps you are so tired. What do you do in your um, weekend or whatever, the holidays, so that you can really empty your mind of work?
I'm very sporty,
Uh-huh.
and I try to, keep fit by going swimming,
Hmm.
and skiing, and well, if I don't get to do either of these, I would also go for cycling.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Nice. Thank you. Anything that I missed?
It is that thing about me that I'm not only, it's not just my professional life that is really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep a balance.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, I do some sports every week, and
Mm-hmm.
I also get and I use every opportunity I have to do artistic activities as well.
Yeah,
So, yeah, your listeners might not be able to see this, but now you can see the picture behind me. So,
I know.
yes, that's one of my paintings. So
Mm-hmm.
I paint, and I use different techniques for painting. I use charcoal, I use watercolor,
Wow.
and yes, and I enjoy every minute of it. It's really very
Nice.
relaxing.
Yeah, really, really, really. And
So I
I can
think
see
that
that, but
everybody
you can
should.
send me. Have I ever seen that before? I think no, not that before. No. So I missed
Well,
that one. Send me a picture of that, please. Okay. Thank you.
sure. Yeah, so I think that in whatever business you are, you should always have some time for yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
to do activities to unwind and to have some peace of mind, you know.
That's it. Your nice accent. Have do you want to tell us about your accent too? Because it's totally different.
Um, okay, so let's see. I haven't really spoken with a heavy accent here today,
I
have
know.
I?
No,
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 so
no, no,
I
not
can
that
turn it
much.
up and turn it down.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I told you that I used to teach before, and then I went to these Cambridge courses. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, when I'm speaking with you, this is like my American accent that you
Mm-hmm.
see,
Mm-hmm.
you hear actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier for the Farsi speakers to imitate the American accent. This
Mm-hmm.
is really the articulation of the vowels is much easier for us when you speak
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in American accent like
Exactly.
this, as I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But when I went to do my Salta in Turkey,
Mm-hmm.
I actually got the opportunity of being involved with some British people, and a lot of our trainers actually exposed us to a nice British accent, which is
Yeah.
where I picked some of it up, and I decided that I really enjoyed when I sounded like this. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me, but it looks like the impression you make when you start talking in British accent is much stronger. Am I right?
I totally agree. Totally. Couldn't be agree
Yeah,
more.
so
It's like when
I
you
can
when
totally
you
switch
pass
anytime I
this.
want
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It is like you're passing, I mean, just American accent, just you go to the next level and you get it.
Yes,
You
and I
get to
think,
the
well, finally, the ultimate level is Texan accent.
exactly, exactly.
I'm at the speaking
Irish
like
maybe.
this.
To us maybe when I mean I've watched
Mhm,
some of these reels on Instagram, maybe it was, I don't know, or on YouTube, I don't remember. But there was an Irish family, they were
mhm,
just trying to talk. It was their only normal life, but you could hear, and it was just like a crossing your mind that, oh my god, I don't know this accent well. Maybe Irish would be
Mm-hmm.
the next level.
Yeah, maybe you're talking about Peaky Blinders.
No, no, no.
Uh,
It was
no,
just a
okay, but
normal
still,
family with
yeah. When
kids.
I watched that series, I was like, wow,
Oh,
I don't get what they're saying.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it is so hard to understand different accents. That is the case in Iran too, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
in Farsi, we have got different accents, and well, for us who are trained at understanding all the accents, it is easy. But sometimes it turns out to be a different dialect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the difference between a dialect and an accent?
Would you like to tell us more about it?
Yes, so an accent is only the production of the sounds in a slightly different manner,
Mm-hmm.
but the dialect also involves, it mainly is with the same grammar, but usually different choice of words.
Words, yeah.
And yes, and so it becomes even difficult for the speakers of the same language to understand each other when there is a different dialect. Like,
Maybe
I
some
mean,
examples?
I'm starting to think that Irish could be a dialect, not an
Mm-hmm.
accent, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So, yeah, it is hard for us to understand. Well, it is hard for themselves to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
when, for
accents
example,
would be something like
well, in our own language, let me
yeah,
give you some examples. So, Esfahani is an
an
accent.
accent and
Yes, and Gilaki is a
dialect.
dialect.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
So you think Irish could be one of those dialects here? I was talking with my students about it, and we were maybe come to this conclusion that in Iran, because most books are coming, I mean, the accents are American. It's easier for us to understand. Plus, what you said about the articulation of our language and that one,
Mm.
and we find it more
And all
interesting.
the movies we
Yeah,
watch, you know, we
yeah,
have a lot of exposure.
yeah.
Like, how often do you sit and watch a British movie? But we are always, into Hollywood stuff.
But when it comes to the blockbusters, like for example that Peaky Blinders, people, I mean, English learners are like, oh, we don't like this accent because, and we think, oh, okay, it's okay because you are not that much exposed to this accent. That's why you don't like it. If
Mm-hmm.
you go into that, if you just continually, I mean, are exposed to that accent, you are gonna get used to that, and your brain is getting used to that, and you start liking or going to
Yes, it
love
grows
that.
on you.
Yeah, yeah,
It
exactly.
grows on you totally. I agree with you.
What's your idea of immigration? I know that you were living in Turkey for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
you already told us about your Cambridge courses that you've passed. What happened? You're here in Iran, and tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah, a long story. It
Mm-hmm.
really was a very long story for me because,
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows that the situation, the economic situation
Mm-hmm.
and social situation is not really ideal
Yeah.
in Iran, but it is not also an easy thing to immigrate to another country. So yes, everybody asks me why, for example, you can easily get a good score. Well, I got one because
Mm-hmm.
every 2 years you have to renew your IELTS, but I had a good score and I didn't really apply for, I don't know, a country like Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason is usually hard to understand for many people, but the thing is, being far away from your family is maybe underrated in many cases. People do not really speak about it, about being homesick and
Mm-hmm.
the the difficulties of living abroad. I mean, um, it's not easy to live in Iran, but it's not easy to live elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So I would say that yes, you will have a better social situation in another country, but you pay a price which
Mm-hmm.
was too high for me.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe some people are more independent and they don't have the strong family ties that I did.
Mm-hmm.
But I really missed my family, and I think that I speak for both of us here because you also
That's it.
went through the same experience, and I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were much stronger than I was, and you stuck there for a longer time. But I couldn't really make it, and I really felt homesick, and I decided to come back. So yeah, even in a country which is not far away from maybe it is a 3 hour flight from
Mm-hmm.
your homeland, but not being able to speak your language to other people,
Yeah.
um, when you say these things, it doesn't sound very hard, but it is. I don't know. I think that nobody will actually understand it until they have experienced it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah, so a different culture and everybody judging you because you come from a different background. It's not easy.
As long as you're a student, you're welcome, maybe. And
Mm-hmm.
when you start thinking about living as a citizen in that society, then something is gonna change, right? It's
Yes,
like,
there were people who asked me questions that
mm-hmm,
not only shocked me, but also broke my heart. I mean, I was asked whether there were, I don't know, highways in my country. I mean,
mm-hmm,
they, assume that, a lot of this is actually their fault because this is a neighboring country and
yeah,
they have no idea what is going on in here. So they were under the, impression that we, travel by camels in here or something.
yeah, could
Yeah, so
be,
they ask questions that you are like, oh my god, I cannot believe that this is how they think of our country.
yeah,
So yes, we have difficulties, but this is a modern country. This is not, we are not living in medieval ages. you know?
maybe the challenges that we are facing here in Iran is not that comparable with the the level of life that we are having at the same time. Like, for example, having wearing hijab, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Yes.
very superficial in any other country, so that you can decide about it, but it is not easy here to decide about it. So uh, it seems in the country that you are forced to wear hijab in any ways, you should also, I mean, are banned from internet maybe, or are not
Mm-hmm.
able to use Lexus, I don't know what, or having highways. Like, the comparing the challenges and the facilities that we are having at the same time, they are not balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can
Yes.
understand it in that way. Mm-hmm.
True. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we do come from a place which is, mismanaged,
Yeah.
and because of this mismanagement, and well, the government, which is basing its doctrine on ideologies and not on, you know, uh, preparing for its people, we are suffering from a lot of different things. But this is still a very wealthy country. So when you compare the the level of the, how people live, in
Mm-hmm.
our country and there, you really do not see any difference if you're not even above them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that is for the only country I have seen. Maybe in other countries it is different because I know that, for example, countries like Canada are, more inviting and
Mm-hmm.
more welcoming,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to, dealing with immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
because most of their population is
Yeah, they are.
immigrants. So um, it's a melting pot, and all cultures are living together in one place, and they have learned to be tolerant of each other and to be accepting of each other.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's I mean, as far as we heard, it's like that.
True.
That's it. So you don't have any plan for immigration?
No, no. Our plan is to build this country again.
Hopefully, hopefully. Yeah, we
With
really
the help
want to.
of people like you who are creating this opportunities for learning. And I really appreciate the kind of thought that you have, and the kind of, things that, you really care about. I know that you are
Thank you.
actually trying to create these episodes so that you can help other people benefit from these, and learn stuff. So that is
Mm-hmm.
a very good measure, I think. So if only we had more people like you, I mean,
Oh,
we would
sure we
have had a
have.
better
Sure we have.
society.
So I just kept this for the last touch. Now I think now that you brought it up, so you think that we can have this kind of situation, and it helps the English learners to have this maybe small talk time together. Yeah, we also can talk in Farsi much maybe better than this, or more enjoying than this. But what do you think of this really, if we try sometimes something like that?
Well, I think this is a very good challenge. It was a good challenge for me because we decided to speak spontaneously. You
Yeah.
weren't like going on a plan. You didn't even tell me what questions you were gonna ask.
Yeah.
So I think it is a very good way to do things, that because I'm sure that in my language I have had some mistakes, some blunders right now, and you probably had some, but
Sure.
it doesn't matter. This is I think that the culture that we need to instill in our learners, that as humans we are not infallible.
Mm-hmm.
We are allowed to make mistakes. We even make mistakes in our mother tongues, and it doesn't
Exactly.
embarrass us. Why should it embarrass us in a different language that we are trying to learn?
Mm-hmm.
It is, we need to learn that this is a part of the learning journey,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
so part of the learning process. um, it is inevitable. You need to make mistakes, and you shouldn't be ashamed of them. You should deal with them and move
Mm-hmm.
on and try to improve yourself. So I
Exactly.
think that this is the point that these talks can have.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm so happy that you approved this, because I really didn't have time to talk about these things with you. And I want you to come back to us sometimes and
Sure, of course.
share if
Anytime.
you find anything, I mean, anything that we can talk about, or anything that uh, any audience here can get more benefit of them. Please share it with us, and that's it for
Sure,
me. Thank you.
sure.
Thank you.
I will let you know.
Thank you.
Yes, we will keep in touch.
Sure. Thank you.
It was very nice being here with you and talking to you. Thank you
Thank
for
the
inviting me.
same here. Thank you. A special thanks to you guys for listening to us. And if you are also interested in socializing in English and you are looking for a space, it's the spot is created for this exact purpose. You just need to contact me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube. Everywhere the account or channel handle is, it is the spot. Waiting for you. Bye.